Chances are you have a R5 Mark II and an Atomos monitor and it doesn't work together. I've got a solution for you. Well, several solutions, because I had a lot of problems connecting these two for several reasons, and even Atomos couldn't really help me. So I've bundled all the solutions for your problem with connecting the R5 Mark II and the Atomos screen, so you don't have to look all over the internet like I did. I did everything. I went to ChatGPT, to the website of Atomos, I sent them emails. I asked Canon, because I worked together with Canon, and nobody knew what the solution was to my problems. So I did a lot of research and I made a lot of chapters. So in every chapter I will go over the thing that could be the problem of your monitor and your R5 don't connect. That's not correct English, but you catch my drift. So let's connect everything and let's find out how it works. So the first thing you gotta do is check your firmware. And meanwhile I will set up everything and tell you the most important things, and that's always check the firmware. If you don't have the latest firmware, it doesn't work great. So make sure your Canon R5 has the latest firmware, and also your Atomos has the latest firmware. That's mandatory to make sure everything works perfectly. So can I connect it? Well, yes I can. There we go. It's connected. It's quite heavy. It's got 85 millimeters on it. So here's my R5. R5 Mark II actually. That's very important. Here's my Ninja screen. So the second thing you always gotta check, if nothing works, do a factory reset. And maybe the best thing to do it when you start to work on this problem. If you have a problem, if you just want to connect it and you didn't have a problem before, you don't have to do a reset. But if you have pressed every setting, maybe a reset is better, so you know what to do. It's this thing, a cable. You need a good cable. So it's HDMI 2.0. Make sure you got a good cable. If the cable isn't great or doesn't work, your screen doesn't work. I know these are simple things, but it happens that people don't connect the correct cable and it won't work. So always check with the second cable to check if that isn't the problem. Then we gotta connect the R5 and the Atomos. I've got an Atomos Ninja Ultra, but if it's a Plus, it doesn't really matter. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. You need the correct settings. So of course, you put an HDMI in your R5 like this. I'll show you. Put it in your R5, and your Atomos, you put it in the top one, so the in. Of course, because it's an in, it's not an out. You want to send video into the screen, like this. Maybe I can connect it to my R5 like this. Almost becomes a HMR video, sorry. So if you check your cable and that's not a problem, then it's something else, of course. So when you turn on your R5 Mark II and you turn on your screen, hope you can see it. Oh, it's out of my shot. Let me lift it up a little bit like this. You can see it a little bit more like this. There we go. So now you can see both of them. So let's also put in some power. Mostly that works better. Put some power in it. So if it doesn't work, turn on the power. So now we'll start up. I don't know which setting it right now is, but it probably will work. But if it doesn't work, we have to fix it. All right, so first, as we can see, there is, you can see something on both of my screens. If you think, well, it's a strange square, it's because I shoot a lot of social media, and then I know where to shoot for my social media. That's just a grid. Let's press record, so you can see everything I'm recording here. One of the things that's very important, I'm gonna change it. So as you can see, we have a connection with the screen and the monitor. You can see that both work. So I'll put a record here so you can see what kind of menu things I do to fix it. And I will also explain how to get your menu functions on your screen and how not get your menu function on the screen. So the first we have to go to the number one of the red menu. So red menu, 10 different pages. The first thing you gotta check is your video settings. And you'll see if I change the video settings, go over here, and I go to, let's say I want to shoot in 60p, 60 frames per second. Choose 60 frames. I lost my input. So that's one of the reasons why it doesn't work. 60 frames, it doesn't work because the screen doesn't support the 60 frames. Actually, it's the HDMI port that doesn't work with the higher FPS. So that's one of the reasons why it couldn't work. That was my reason, because it didn't work with a higher FPS. So when I changed it in my camera, so I have to pull this out, or else I can't see my settings. And I go back to the 30 FPS. I put in my HDMI, it stopped working. And it's recording, no problem at all. Maybe important, I use this format to record my video. What is it? XF AVC SY CC 4222 10-bit. Works perfectly with the camera. Then we go to the time code. And that's the number 8. Time code. That's the upper one. And in time code, it's very important that, let me check, that you go to the HDMI and everything is on. If it isn't on, just make sure everything is on. So when you press here, the record button, it will automatically start recording on your screen. Let's go back. What's also important is the go back. The HDR log view assistant. I got both of them on. Make sure they're on. If they're on, it works perfectly. Then we go to menu number 10. It's so simple. If you now can find everything. Well, I've had a lot of trouble with connecting everything because I didn't know how it worked. Because the R5 Mark II is so different from the R5. And then it's very important. Auto power off for your high temperatures. Always set to high. So you got no problem over there. Then you need to go to the standby low res. You don't have to turn it off. You can turn it on, but I find it very annoying. Every time I turn it on, it gives like a message that I've got low res. So I just turn it on and I got no message anymore. Then also the HDMI display is very important. That's this part. When I choose the bottom one, so this one, if I choose this one, my sharing of my menu on my screen won't be visible. It only will show the stuff I shoot through my lens, but not what you can see on my R5 screen. So that's very important to know. For video, you choose the bottom one. If you want to record something, now we're recording from my Canon, so I want to choose the bottom one, the top one. So if you're working as a videographer, you use the bottom one. For like this kind of purposes, you use the top one. And then the bottom one, the HDMI output range for C-Log, I've got it on full. You can put it to narrow range, but I like the full range and didn't have any problems. Then we have to go to the yellow menu. Yellow, and we have to go to 3, page 3 of the yellow pages. The HDMI resolution, the bottom one, I've got it on auto. So there's never a problem, then it always works perfectly. And then the 4th page, the power savings, make sure to disable all the power savings. If you don't disable everything, then you could run into trouble with turning stuff off. So just make sure everything disabled and there's no problem. But also it's very important is actually your mode selectors. If you choose other modes, then it can happen that it doesn't work. Then you have to go over the settings because every mode has a different settings. So as you can see, now recording stops. I use a lot of M function and C3 function, so they work differently. As you can see, my C3 doesn't work because I use it on weddings. Get all kind of messages. If I go to manual, it will work. So if you have any problems and you still can't fix it, let me know in the comments. I will gladly help you fixing your problem. By now I'm pretty sure I can fix every Atomos R5 Mark II problem, also the R5 Mark I, because I've did a lot of messing up before it finally worked like it should work. Thank you for watching and see you next time.